Hi guys, welcome to my first ever vlog. That's right, I've never vlogged before, so I am feeling incredibly awkward right now because I'm basically just talking to myself until you guys start watching it. I decided to do a vlog today because last weekend I headed up to London for 2 book publishing events, and while I was there I met some really cool people. They were vloggers and they said to me, why don't you just try it? And so I thought, I'm going to give it a go. And the first thing that I'm going to do is a book haul, because at those 2 events I managed to pick up some really cool books, so I thought I'd share them with you today. The first event I went to was Walker Books Bookish Brunch. We got lots of pastries and waffles and tea and coffee, and then we went and had a look at their menu for 2015, and while I was there I got to take away quite a few books. The first one, which is going to be coming out in April next year, is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. So Jandy is the author of The Sky is Everywhere, and it's really about family. It's about twins, and apparently they get torn apart by a tragedy. Before that they'd been inseparable, so it's going to be a really interesting story and I'm really excited to read it. I'd like to just apologise for the cat just walking in there. Oh. A bit before the event I'd also been sent The Sky is Everywhere and the new cover of it, so that was really exciting. I've never actually read it before, so I'm really excited to read it. And also, you probably noticed that they've got quite similar covers. They've been redone by a girl called Sophie Hayward, who Walker Books met at a grad show earlier this year, and she's already got these 2 books under her belt. There's some really cool pages, like this one. And inside, I'll Give You the Sun. This. The next book I got to take home from the Walker Books event is this one. It is called The Unlikely Hero of Room 13B, and it tells the story of a boy called Adam. He goes to an OCD group. He falls in love with a girl called Robin. It's just about the struggles of their romance, obviously involving OCD because they both got OCD. But there's also apparently a whodunit running through the whole book, and that whodunit is centred around Adam's mum, who keeps getting threatening letters. It sounds like a really intriguing read, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. This one's coming out in March next year, so I'll be reading and reviewing it before then. So those are the books I got from the event ready for next year. We also were allowed to go and take any books we wanted off the shelves. I felt like I was just stealing everything in there, but you know, we were told we were allowed, so I went for it. Last week I had been reading Patrick Ness, The Knife of Never Letting Go, because yes, I haven't read it yet. I have now, I finished it and I thought it was amazing. So I managed to pick up from Walker Books the 2nd and the 3rd book in the trilogy, which is really exciting. So I'm going to be reading those soon too, and I love the first one. I think that Patrick Ness is a complete genius, and I can't wait to read them, and I think everybody should read them, whether you like YA or not, because they are so good. Well, the first one was, I haven't read the 2nd and 3rd one, so. Another book I took from the shelf at Walker Books was this one by Zoe Marriott, The Night Itself, and it is the first book in the Name of the Blade trilogy. I struggle with fantasy a little bit sometimes, but I'm going to give this one a go, but not before I let my friend Zara read it, because she is a really big fan of Zoe Marriott, so, and she hasn't read this trilogy yet, so I'm going to let her read it first, and then maybe I'll even be able to convince her to do her own review as a guest post on Ashley Online. And if not, maybe she'll even do a vlog. The final book I picked up from Walker Books' shelf was this one. It is called The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender, which is about the strange and beautiful sorrows of Ava Lavender, as far as I'm aware. It's actually about this girl, Ava, who is born with the wings of a bird, and that is apparently the key to her fate. So I think this is going to be really mysterious, mythical, quite poetic. I think it's going to be one of those books that some people really love and some people don't love as much. So I'd really love to know if you've read this book. Did you love it? Did you hate it? The cover is really pretty. Those are all the books that I managed to pick up from the Walker Books event, but after that I headed over to Macmillan, a My Kind of Book event. There were some authors there giving readings, and while I was there I picked up several books, so I'm going to show you what I got from there. This one, it is called My True Love Gave to Me, and it is a nice Christmassy read that I picked up from the Macmillan event. I probably don't need to say much about it because probably a lot of you have already read it, but it is a compilation of 12 winter romances by some really cool authors, including Holly Black, Gail Forman, Rainbow Rowell. I'm going to read it over the Christmas holidays. And next up from the table, I picked this one, A Little Something Different, literally. It's by Sandy Hall, and this is a book that comes from the Swoon Reads imprint, which I didn't actually know about before, but it sounds really interesting because it's like there's a website and you can submit your books, and you know, you can read them before they've been published, and Macmillan picks some books from the website that have been submitted that they really liked. Then they go and publish them and they become a real physical book. It's a love story between two people who are clearly in love, but they just don't seem to be getting together. But there are 14 different viewpoints in this book, and those 14 different viewpoints all know that Leah and Gabe should get together. It sounds like a really cool concept, a really good idea for a romance, and I'm really excited to read it. Now from a nice fluffy and lovey-dovey read to something a little bit more horrible. This one is called The Cuckoo Song by Frances Hardinge. It is apparently a dark and twisted fairy tale. So, and you really need to read the summary for this one. It is freaky, talking about doll's eyes and... what? When she starts to cry, her tears are like cobwebs. Yeah, I'm not going to read this at night. Another book that I picked up from the Macmillan event was this one called Stella by Helen Eve, and it is like a high school drama as far as I'm aware. Apparently it's absolutely amazing, it sounds really good. There is a prequel to this book coming out next year, I believe, so I think I'll read that as well once I finish reading Stella. The final book that I picked up, it was actually in the goodie bag for the Macmillan event, was this one. It is not called You're Never Alone in a Haunted House. It is called The Haunting of Sunshine Girl by Paige Mackenzie, and apparently this is a YouTube channel which I seriously need to check out because it sounds horrifying and scary, and it's a web series and it's now been turned into a book. How cool is that? Apparently if you liked reading things like point horror and all that, which I did, I loved, then you'll probably like this book. So I'm excited to read it. It does sound really scary, and I'm also going to go and check out the YouTube channel because I think I might have been missing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I realised this was probably quite a large book haul for my first ever YouTube video, but there is one final thing I want to talk about, and that is a little parcel I got from Walker Books before I went to the event, which had 4 books that I had missed out on in the year because I actually only got in touch with Walker Books later on in the year, and the first book I got was The Jewel from them, which I loved. First, and I know, don't tell me off for not reading this yet, but it is Trouble by Non Pratt. I have been wanting to read this book for a long time, and so I'm so excited to have it, and I think I might read it next. But the good news is that Non Pratt was at the Walker Books event this week, and she actually read out an extract from her new book, which is called Remix, and it's coming out next summer, so I'll be excited to read that as well. I also got this one, The Girl Who Was Supposed to Die by April Henry, and I've heard quite good things about this one too. It sounds really frightening. She wakes up on a rough wooden floor with blood in her mouth. Her fingers burn, some of her nails are missing. She doesn't know who or where she is or why, and there are 2 men arguing over whether or not to kill her. Yes, I like it. I want to read it. Next is this whopping great book with really cool pages and a really great cover. I was excited when it came because I've heard about this book. Apparently it's really gruesome. It's like a historical novel. It's got princesses and queens in it, but there is this illness, which is syphilis, plaguing the kingdom. The issue that people are having with it is that it is in the YA genre. It has been put in the YA genre, but it is really gruesome. It's not necessarily YA as you know it, and arguably it should be in the adult category, which is fine with me. I'm 24 years old, I can cope with it, but I understand why people might be a bit upset by this book. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to give you my verdict on whether or not it should be in the YA section and whether or not you should read it. It is the last book on my list, and it is The Interrogation of Ashala Wolf by Amberlynn Quay-Molina. It sounds like really up my street. It says, Ashala Wolf leads the tribe, the Runaway illegals living in the First Wood. She stands for everything the Bureau of Citizenship fears and despises. If balance is to be maintained, Ashala must be stopped and the tribe destroyed. Tricked and captured, Ashala is forced to succumb to a machine that will access her memories and reveal the information the authorities most desire. As her life is replayed against her, can the tribe survive the interrogation of Ashala Wolf? Woohoo! Sounds so good. And apparently it's a bit like it's completely twisted. You have a roller coaster, you don't see what's coming next. So I love that kind of book. I love it when your heart's racing and you just don't know what's going to happen next. So I'm really excited to read this too. And I do not know how I'm going to get through all of these books. So finally I've come to the end. I've got a completely dry mouth, but I've managed to get through my first ever vlog. I really hope you liked it and you've got through it too, so well done to you. I'm going to try and do some more. They will be shorter than this one. It's a particularly long one because it's my first ever one and I wanted to show you all those really good books that I got. But I hope that you can come back again another time when I do my next video. Please let me know what you thought about the vlog in the comments below, and I would really appreciate some constructive criticism. It's my first try, so please go easy on me. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time, and make sure you pay a visit to ashleyonline.com, which is my blog. Bye.